Welcome to our vlog. This vlog follows our first webinar, Preschool Suspensions. This is what we know. We were honored to have on our panel Dr. Hakeem Rashid, Dr. Kent McIntosh, and Bill Jager. I kicked off the webinar just providing the data around preschool suspensions, the data that tells us that preschoolers are being suspended at rates that should alarm and concern all of us. And then Dr. Kent McIntosh, he talked to us about implicit bias and the role of implicit bias in decision making that often leads not only to preschool suspensions, but to the disproportionate numbers of Black and brown children who are suspended and expelled from preschool programs. What we loved most about Dr. McIntosh's presentation was not only did he talk about the role of implicit bias and how it's more likely to happen during those times that we are under stress, during those times that we have to make snap decisions, but he also gave us amazing strategies to dismantle and to disrupt implicit bias. And one of the strategies that he gave us was a little surprising, and it was the turtle technique. And we have used this technique over and over with young children, but rarely do we think that we need to use it ourselves. And he encouraged us that during those times that we're highly stressed, when we have to make snap decisions, that those are the times that we should go into our shell, take 3 deep breaths, come up with another solution, so that we can pretty much disrupt that implicit bias decision making just by calming ourselves down. Then we had Dr. Rashid come in, and he talked about the plight of Black boys in our early childhood programs. It was really, really amazing to hear him talk about how these boys come to early childhood programs, bright, curious, ready to learn, explore, and experiment. But unfortunately, many times, they leave our programs labeled at risk. They leave our programs suspended and expelled, and what that does to them, and how that impacts their education, and how so many of these children of color, they can go into a preschool program, eager to learn, only to be expelled and suspended maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times before they ever get to kindergarten, which leads to them really pretty much kind of separating themselves from the learning process and not being as interested, which can lead to a variety of negative outcomes. And Bill Jager, he's been working very hard on policy issues around suspensions and expulsions. He talked about what's happening around the country to ban or to reduce children who are 3rd grade and younger from being suspended. And he talked about how states are also providing supports to teachers, because it's not enough to ban suspensions, but teachers need support in keeping these children in their classrooms. We all know that preschool suspensions do not work. Well, suspensions don't work at all. They remove the child from the learning process, but it's really more of a break for the teacher. And without any intervention, the child is just removed, and they come back not having learned anything. The best thing we could do for these children that sometimes challenge us with their behaviors is to give them the tools that they need to self-regulate, to make friends, to share, to take turns. And then what we have to do is change our responses to their behaviors. So suspensions, they've been proven ineffective. So our goal is to make sure that we're practicing some of the techniques that Dr. McIntosh has given us, to be aware of the potential power and possibility of Black boys when they enter our facilities, and then to really, really work towards banning and eliminating suspensions for our younger children, because we want to keep them in school where that learning will take place so that they will be able to self-regulate and do well in our programs. Thank you so much for your attention, and we look forward to seeing you at our next webinar. Take care now.